Yeah, like to keep in all our thoughts and our prayers a moment of silence also for Senior Airman Richard Samaru, who's 21 from North Brunswick. He was in the Air Force and he was stationed in Seoul, South Korea, and he was found dead in his quarters on Monday. And let's keep him and his family in our prayers. Thank you. For those that can join me, salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Law, notice of this public meeting has been published in the Home News Tribune and Star Ledger newspapers and posted on the Middlesex County website, as well as on the front door and bulletin board of the Middlesex County Administration Building at least 48 hours in advance of this meeting, which shall be entered into the minutes of this meeting. Participants on this call will have the ability to speak during the public portion of this meeting. Members of the public may press *9 to virtually raise their hand to speak. When your hand is raised, you'll be placed in the queue or virtual line to speak during the public portion. The moderator will ask participants with raised hands to unmute themselves. When this happens, the phone operator will instruct the participant to press *6 to unmute themselves. You will know when you have been unmuted and it is time to speak when you hear the operator say, "You are unmuted." When a participant has either completed their comments or are told their allocated 5 minutes are up, they'll be placed on mute by the moderator.
Roll call.
Freeholder Armwood.
Here.
Freeholder Ascona Barber. Here. Freeholder Kenny.
Here.
Freeholder Koppel.
Here.
Freeholder Nara. Freeholder Tamara. Freeholder Director Rios.
Here.
Freeholder Nara. And Freeholder Tamara.
Okay, maybe they'll be able to join us. Maybe they might be tied up at work. At this point, Mr. Kelso, are there any resolutions to be added?
There are none.
Any resolutions to be amended?
There are none.
Any resolutions to be held?
There are none.
Any resolutions to be voided?
There are none.
Okay, before we open up the meeting to the public on resolutions listed only, the participants, I'd like to thank all of those participants for joining us on this call tonight. And before we begin the public portion, I'd like to state that we will utilize advanced capabilities and technology to conduct this meeting. In order to keep the quorum of this meeting and allow those wishing to speak to do so uninterrupted, the following instructions, which the clerk of the board recited earlier, apply to this meeting. For those joining us on this call who have spoken in the past, please note that these instructions have changed due to changes in the technology being utilized. Participants on this call will have the ability to speak during the public portion of this meeting. Before participants can unmute themselves, they must press *9 to virtually raise their hand. When your hand is raised, you will be placed in the queue or virtual line to speak during the public portion. The moderator will ask participants with raised hands to unmute themselves. When this happens, the phone operator will instruct the participant to press *6 to unmute themselves. You will know when you have been unmuted and it's time to speak when you hear the operator say, "You're unmuted." When a participant has either completed their comments or are told that their allocated 5 minutes are up, they will be placed on mute by the moderator. To recap those update instructions, you must press *9 to raise your hand, then press *6 when the operator tells you to do so in order to speak during the public portion. Now the moderator will open up the floor for public comments or questions. Operator, is there anyone in the queue that is asking to speak?
Yes, Director, there is a participant. I will ask that person to unmute now.
Okay. Participant, please state your name and address, and you have 5 minutes to speak only on resolutions listed.
Yes, hi, it's Charlie Cradaville from New Brunswick, the editor of New Brunswick Today. First, a point of order about the rules I want to understand. This is public comments on only the resolutions listed. Will there be a public comment opportunity on matters of interest to the county?
No, it's only on resolutions listed.
Okay, and why not?
This is the practice that we've had, Mr. Cradaville. You know the policy that we've had. So we're having this meeting tonight for bills and for those few listed resolutions.
Okay, so you have invoices only meetings 3 times a year now.
It's resolutions that we have listed, and you may speak on those resolutions that are listed.
Okay, I'm just trying to understand the rules, because when you first got elected in 2008, there was no such thing as an invoices only meeting. The public got 10 minutes to
Mr.
speak,
Cradaville,
and they
your
got that time to speak at every meeting, and you've cut back on that. And so I'm just trying to clarify what the new rules are, since you've cut back on our ability to comment about matters.
And I've clarified this with you a number of times. You know what the rules are. Please state your.
Yeah, and then in March, in the first meeting of the pandemic, you took away the public's right to speak at that meeting too, and you looked very foolish for it. I'll point out there's an unprecedented election.
Listen, you raise a question on the resolutions listed.
I do have questions on the resolution listed, but I just want the record to reflect that. In the first one, the rules. I'm asking about the rules for conducting these kinds of public meetings.
The rule, who was that? Mr. Kelso?
What he's referring to, I'm assuming, is Resolution 1325. These procedures and protocols are a requirement of the state of emergency declared by Governor Murphy, and they were identified for us in the September 24th local public finance notice.
Right.
It also has been incorporated into New Jersey Administrative Code 5:39(1.1.7), and so these are being adopted in accordance with the declaration of the governor and in accordance with the administrative code.
Thank you. I also want to ask about 1328 is an agreement with Jack Morris's company, M&M. This is for 5 years. You want to lease property from him? Is this the same property where they're doing the COVID testing? And isn't it true that, there was no fee being charged? Why are we going to start paying to rent this vacant property?
Freeholder Director.
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Palomino.
Okay, clarification. One is the space that we were using for our testing is the outside parking lot, which we have not and will not pay any rent for. He has provided that as a courtesy to the county and its residents. However, we are going to be going and utilizing inside space as we continue to build our contact tracing team for this virus, which is absolutely essential to continue to attempt to contain this virus. We will be using space in that building, which we will obviously, as with all facilities rent, we'll pay a fee for that footprint. So that's what you're seeing on here tonight. It's starting off at about 15,000 square foot of space, but we're expanding it not just only for contact tracing, but we're moving other elements of our health office services and some technology team into that building, so it's consistent and aligns with the outside testing facility in order to support our community.
Okay, well, thank you for that. I think these are the types of things that should be gone over in public without folks having to ask. And I'll just, conclude by saying that it's absurd for you to take away the public's right to speak on general matters, like the election that's underway, like the second wave of COVID, and you continue to be anti-democratic. You're anti-democratic, and quite frankly, it comes off as cowardly because in the past few months, I've brought up real issues during the public comment portion, including false statements put out by the jail, including criminal issues with people who work at the jail, and you're
out of order. Thank you. Anyone else in the public?
Director, there are no other hands raised at this point.
Is there a motion to close the public portion?
So moved.
Is there a second? Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Mr. Kelso?
I do not believe there's any resolutions to be excluded by any freeholders.
Okay, so then you want to...
So then if that's accurate, then a motion would be in order to adopt the consent agenda consisting of resolution numbers 20-1325 to resolution number 20-1333.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call?
Freeholder Armwood,
Yes.
Freeholder Ascona Barber,
Yes.
Freeholder Kenny,
Yes.
Freeholder Koppel,
Yes.
Freeholder Director Rios.
Yes. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Meeting adjourned. Thank you all. Please stay safe
Thank
and
you.
healthy.
Good
Thank you, everyone. Stay
Thank you.
safe.
Goodbye.